Hi guys, how are we? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Live a Little, Love a Lot. My name is Aditi Gupta and I'm here to bring to you the story for the month of May. And the title of the story is called The Things Mummy Taught Us. Get comfy, grab something cold to drink. I'm going to start reading. Cup of tea was always strong, brewed to the right color, blended with the right amount of milk and tea leaves. The sugar had to be the perfect amount, not too much, not too little. She exhaled a long sigh after taking the first sip. Naina stood in her kitchen in Singapore, a cup in her hand, staring out the window as the city hummed below her. It was distant, orderly, and efficient. The kind of place where nothing spills. The kind of place that nothing spills over. Not time, not emotions. Everything was balanced. Or did it just seem to be? With her two children off at school, Naina was dressed to head out at work. Her husband Ashu had already left earlier that morning. She took the last sip of tea and smiled to herself, recalling her mother's sweet words. Make me a nice cup of tea, but please make it strong. Her mother had passed, but Naina's memories of her mother rested in her heart like a voice that no longer spoke, yet somehow guided her every single day. Now, somewhere in Gurgaon, in a noisier apartment, another cup of tea was being made. This one too was strong, just the way their mother liked it. But Naina was no longer there to taste it. Her younger sister, Kavya, had just finished her online meeting and sat down by the window with her second cup of tea. She looked at the wall clock and sighed. The kids would be home from school very soon. She remembered how their mother used to welcome her and her sister from school. Thanda nimbu pani and simple homemade dal chawal with aam ki achar. Her mouth began to water. Nothing in this world could beat Mummy's home-cooked food. Just then, her phone pinged. It was time for her next meeting. The two sisters, Naina and Kavya, did not talk any longer. Well, not really. However, there were occasional text messages, of course, like happy birthday, how's life, how were the kids, and certainly a few pictures of the children. There was still connection, but not as deep as the two sisters shared when they were growing up. It was the kind of connection that checks a box and doesn't open a door. Time was different when they were little. Their home was constantly filled with joy, love, commotion, and the happy kind of chaos. That time, silence never existed between them. Their mornings began with arguments over the bathroom. Their nights ended with whispered conversations under the same blanket. This was the time where every small, silly, important thing was shared. But then, life happened. They each married and began their new lives in separate cities and then countries. The distance consumed them. And somewhere in between, a disagreement that wasn't even their own ruined it all. Their husbands didn't get along. Words were said in anger that were left freezing in the air. Both sisters tried to make it work, to repair and recover, and to make life hopefully better, because there was no chance it could ever be the same again. The phone calls continued, visits now and then, but as time passed, their conversations became measured. They were less open and more formal. Often it felt like they were censoring themselves before speaking. Until one day, it just became easier not even to call, not even to pretend. Now that Friday, Naina scrolled through her phone late night. Her daughter was already asleep. Her husband was not at home. He was out on a work trip. The house was quiet. She paused on a photo, Kavya's son. It was his birthday photo. He had turned 6, messy face, wide grin. So Naina almost typed, he's grown so much. But her fingers hovered. Naina put away her phone and closed her eyes. It's already late, I'll text her tomorrow. She told herself and fell off to sleep. But She did not text or call the following day. Now back in Gurgaon, Kavya cooked suji ka halwa. Her son took a bite and said, "Mama, oh Mama, this tastes just like how Nani used to make. Remember?" Kavya smiled and she said, "At least something rubbed off onto me. I inherited her cooking skills." He's like, no, wait. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. Naina Masi also cooks well. You can't take all the credit, you know. I still remember a hot aloo paratha she had made long ago. He took another spoonful of suji ka halwa. But Mama, yes beta, when are we all going to meet again, you know, as in be together again? His mother didn't know what to say. She said, "I don't know. It's been a really long time." The following Monday, Kavya's phone rang. "Papa is not well. The doctor said it's nothing serious, but I really think age is catching up," Naina said. "He sounds really weak and frail. He's never sounded like this before, not even when Mummy passed." Her sister added, Are you coming?" "I've already booked my tickets," Naina replied. "You?" "I've just finished packing my bag." So very soon, they were back home. The house smelled the same. Old wood, haldi, something warm, familiar, that hadn't changed. Kavya stepped in first. Naina arrived a few hours later. The two sisters met in the drawing room. They smiled and embraced each other with a careful hug. They continued the usual rounds of hi, hello, how is your journey, and blah, blah, blah. They sit, not too close, yet not too far. "Where's Papa?" Naina asked. "I'm not too sure. He wasn't here when I arrived. I got the keys from the neighbor. So I called him, and he said he wouldn't reach until a few hours." "Is he at the hospital?" Naina sounded concerned. "No, actually he said he was out, and that's all he said. You know, I really don't know." "Oh my," Naina went silent. "Sounds weird if you ask me," Kavya said. "But you know what? He's always been like that, right?" The two gave each other an awkward smile. A few hours later, the sisters heard an auto rickshaw halt in front of the house. They peeked out of the window and saw their old man pay the driver and step out of the rick. He had a walking stick in one hand and a carry bag in the other. The sisters charged to the front door to let him inside. "Oh, you both are here!" He beamed as he entered the house. He opened his arms, pulling both his daughters into a long hug. "Where have you been?" Naina asked. "I went to meet my friend," Papa said. "To play cards," Kavya added. "Old habits die hard. And then I went to buy some fresh chicken." "Chicken? You went to buy chicken?" Naina said. "Well, it's been ages I've not had your mother's special chicken, you know. You want to eat chicken, but we thought you were unwell and you sounded so weak over the phone." Papa began to laugh. "Sometimes I have to be cheeky. And you know what? My plan worked. I have both my daughters now under one roof, and we are going to eat hot chapatis and delicious chicken curry. I'm already drooling thinking about it." The two sisters gave each other a long stare, but remained silent. "I'll marinate it," Kavya said. She picked up the bag and headed to the kitchen. So now, the little family continued through the rest of the day just as they used to. The sisters made evening tea. They watered the plants, and soon they began to prepare their mother's special chicken. The kitchen felt smaller with the two of them in it. Or maybe it was just the silence that took up more space than it should have. The marinated chicken sat on the counter, resting on a large steel bowl coated with spices that filled the room with an aromatic, familiar smell. Kavya stood by the stove, pouring the oil into the kadai. Naina hovered near the counter, glancing at the jars and the containers that hadn't moved in years. "The haldi is in the second drawer," Naina said, without looking at her. Now the oil began to heat. Kavya added the jeera, followed by the onions. "They need to brown properly," Naina said. "Mummy never ever rushed this step." "I know, I'm not rushing," Kavya replied. Her voice was even. A few seconds later, "They're not there yet." Naina added, reaching for the spoon. Kavya pulled back, just slightly. I said, I'm not rushing. The onion sizzled, turning slowly. Naina stepped back but didn't move away. You used to rush this, she said almost to herself. Mummy would always say, patience. Kavya turned this time. And you would just stand there and watch? Naina looked at her. At least I was there. Oh, Naina let out a long shot, a humorless laugh. Oh, really? The onions had begun to catch on the edges. You left, Naina, she said, turning back to the pan, but not really seeing it. You don't get to come back and correct everything. I didn't leave you, Naina said, quieter now but sharper. Kavya's grip tightened on the ladle, but you did. The onions were ready now, maybe a second too longer. Kavya added the crushed garlic, followed by tomato puree and the green chilies. Neither of them lowered the flame. You think I forgot? Naina said. You think I don't remember how she made this? She picked up the masalas and added them to the kadai. I think, Kavya said, that you don't know what it was like after you left. The oil began to separate quickly. The masala stuck at the bottom. You think it was easy for me? Naina shot back. I didn't say that, Kavya replied. But you had your own life. I did not have that luxury. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The flame stayed high. The masala darkened. Add the chicken, Naina said, suddenly glancing at the kadai. Give me a minute, Kavya said. It'll burn. It's fine. No, it's not fine. Kavya added the chicken to the kadai, while Naina looked over her sister's shoulder to make sure that she was doing it correctly. Kavya turned to her, eyes flashing. Stop telling me what to do. And stop pretending you're the only one who remembers her. The two felt such fury for each other and left the kitchen. One went to the bedroom and the other went to the bathroom. They couldn't get their emotions in check. The stove was left on high. The chicken began to cook. And soon, the masala caught at the bottom of the kadai. Now, just then, Papa walked in. His voice was light as he entered. Obviously, he's in such a joyful mood. I could smell the chicken from outside, and he thought. He stopped. The kitchen was empty. And he noticed smoke coming from the kadai on the stove. It was not even close to his wife's special chicken dish. Kavya rushed into the kitchen and found the stove already off. Papa gave her a disapproving look. Naina stepped inside the kitchen. For a moment, no one said anything. We were just, Kavya began, but the words didn't come. Naina looked at her father. Sorry, Papa. Kavya followed now, softer. We absolutely ruined it. The kitchen, which had once held the warmth of their mother's cooking, now carried the sharp, lingering smudge that darkened their lives. And neither of them knew how to fix it. Let me tell you a story of your mother. Let me tell you a story about your mother, Papa said. He took a seat at the table. His daughters stood still, giving their full attention. Long ago, your mother and I got into an argument. And to tell you the truth, it did not end well. She went to the kitchen, she prepared the same chicken recipe. And to be honest, that was a disaster as well. It was nearly charcoal. The sisters exchanged looks but didn't utter a word. Apparently, she put in all her rage, frustration, sorrow into that dish while trying to prepare it, and it turned out to be so nasty. That night, I was so angry, I went to sleep hungry. Although she did prepare something else to eat, but I just bluntly refused to eat it. Papa let out a long sigh. We're sorry, Papa, Naina said softly. I know you're sorry. I know you both are very sorry. But that is not the point, Papa said. There is a reason why I have brought both my daughters under the same roof again, uprooting them from their regular lives, bringing them all the way back to their first home. Do you know why? The two nodded their heads slowly. I believe you both need some time together. You were so close once, long ago, and I sense that you have lost touch with that. I had hoped that the love you held for each other would last for the rest of your lives. And maybe together we can find a way back to that. You know what? I don't think any of this would have happened if your mother was still here. Life is short. Live it together in harmony. The sisters' eyes welled up with tears as they regarded their father. They didn't know what to say, But the father added, and he said, Now, come on. He pulled his daughters into a hug. Now get dressed. Let's go grab some dinner at our usual restaurant. My stomach is rumbling more than ever. And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. If you did, do leave a comment. Share it with your friends and family because this one is to be read. Stay tuned for the next one. Take care.